Let's talk about the awards. I have just a half an hour to walk you through all these awards. I'm not going to go too fast. I'm not going to show you every single award certificate. I'm just going to name names so you guys are ready for this, because as the speakers later speak, we're going to show the full certificate before they speak, so they know why we chose them. There's never going to be enough room on one slide to say all the information about why we chose who we chose. It's a totally different, well, there's a couple schools and districts that got higher levels of award than they had before, and some got just an additional award, but there's a lot of new. There's a tremendous number of new teachers to us that we've never met before that we're so thrilled with. And then there's a tremendous number of new schools and districts that we'd never met before that we're completely thrilled with in 2021. All right, so let's talk about the levels. And please raise your hand, and Doug, maybe let me know if there's any questions on any of this, so that people can understand what we're doing with these award levels. Because you do get to have this little badge for your email or your website, and the full certificate announcement that you can frame and put up in your offices. The ACE level is the beginning level. And of course, many ACEs this year, because this is the first time we've surveyed teachers. But they're a digital point of light with courageous use of new technology. It's a powerful statement, because, you know, there's still a lot of teachers who want to go back to normal. They want to get rid of all the tech again, and they don't like it. So ACEs are that cut above right there. And then the adepts, they're actually doing what we could see as lesson plan sequencing of various tech and apps and subjects being taught. So they've started to weave things together. A guide is actually now having their attention on the user experience with all of their different stuff that they're putting together. And they're starting to not just like, sort of, I got this put together, and they're like, I got it together, and I already knew what was going to happen before I went into it. And then a Padawan is actually really zeroing in on using the Force. And this is where we, you know, are on the EduJedi terminology. They're blending the human instruction in much more perfectly. And we had some Padawans this year, so we were very excited about. We don't have any scholars, maestros, or warriors yet, but that's to be expected, because there's not a lot of teachers out there that are hybrid instructional designers. I mean, being a digital instructional designer is one of the rarest things on earth right now, but we're expecting some of those to show up, because we actually found schools and districts that are actually doing digital instructional design professional development. So we're going to be watching them to see if they produce any of the scholars that we're expecting from the teachers' ranks. All right, so here are our awardees for ACEs for 2021. So digital learning point of light with courageous use of technology, we have Angela Marshall, Annette Orlando, Bora Benford, and please forgive me if I mispronounce anybody's name, Christine Lelos, Cindy M. Garvin, Clarice Shirley, Dan Gant, Darla Ford, Debbie Knapp, Deborah Morgan, Denise Griffin, and I believe she'll be with us today, Diane Kincaid, Franklin Woods, Jennifer Bard, Jim Crawford, Joanne Weigel, Judy Stark, Julia Simmons, Kat Newcomb Lang, Linda Howards, Margie Bowmans, Marla Stringham, Michelle Bedaraco, Geegan, I hope I said that right, Scott McDonald, and Shirley Del Rosso. So thank you very much for our ACEs. Those are our winners today. And if you are on the site or in this webinar right now, you can download the full certificates. Our adepts, which are adept at lesson plan sequencing of various tech and apps for subjects taught, they're awarded the adept level. Amy Koppel, Amy Salamo, Amber Morgan, Boyd Clark, Carrie Scrivener, Daniel McConnell, Dolly Solis, Gretchen McMurray, Heidi Hitter, Jane Sheltra, Kimberly Lacker, Laura Lee Milberg, who I believe is with us today, Lisa Fisher, Lauren Ramo, Richard Mark Stout, Susan Flory, Tracy Jean Tanoia, Trey Williams, and Wendy Foster. Super excited. Our guides. So managing student user experience with a wide array of tech apps and learning activities in a guided blend as Dana Shutters, Diane Hilderick, Edith K. Duff Andrews, Karen Duff, Mary Candelario, Patricia Sal Pietro, and Portia Wood. I just want to stop right there for a second and just say, you know, listen, if you as a teacher are on right now and you feel like, hey, I'm already at like the maestro level, why am I an ace? Well, maybe we made sort of like a zero in on one aspect of what you told us in the survey. Just be aware that this is a mighty honor. There was, like I said, 21,000 some respondents on this. So we did a lot of work to pick out the right people. So Padawans using the Force, blending tech and intersection with direct human instruction to fit in individual student needs. Ingrid Nathan, Joanne M. Jackson, Dr. Joan M. Jackson, and Megan S. O'Donnell. So we're excited for them too. So those are our teacher award winners. I want everybody to congratulate them. There will be national press releases, even beyond the Learning Council's 310,000 readers. We're doing press releases out to the national press. We usually get picked up millions of eyeballs see all the data on this. All right, so let's talk about the school and district EduJedi awarded levels. Starting with, what are these levels? So you're aware of them all. Members, almost every district's a member, is people with courage with technology. Gainers, we can see from what they're doing and what they responded in the survey, or because they were selected by us because they spoke earlier in some event that we had. When we listened to everything and we transcribed what they said, we chose them. So there are some schools and districts that were chosen by Learning Council and EduJedi this year because of what we found about them as if they had responded to the survey. But most of the awardees are survey respondents. So Gainer has intentional ed tech tactics. And when we talk about tactics, we always consider they also had a strategy, because you can't just do tactics without strategy. And then innovators are trend aware and utilizing digital systems. Achievers are digital learning, actually increasing student achievement. We can see that from what they said. A night, just so you know, there's only 4 night districts. There are no masters or grandmasters yet that we can see. And really that's because the demarcation line between night and master is a true logistics shift where they're moving really to like a high flex hybrid logistics model where it's individual pace and change of how they're executing on personalization. So the grade and class structure maybe doesn't go away entirely, but it's really in the direction of personalization. So we only have 4. We're getting 2 more this year. And I'll talk about who they are in a second. All right, so school awarded levels. Hopefully you're ready for this. Gainers, Burlington High School, Burlington Community School District, Iowa, Burrell High School, Burrell School District, Pennsylvania, Lafayette Lower Elementary School, Lafayette County School District, Mississippi, Liberty High School, Liberty Central Local Schools, Ohio, Lone Independent School District, Texas. I believe that they're all one unit, so they don't have a separate name for their high school or their elementary. Thank you, Lone, for responding to the survey. Ridgedale Elementary School, Ridgedale Local School District in Ohio, Virtual Schoolhouse, West Ada School District in Idaho. Those are our gainers this year, and they'll be getting the award. Innovators, trend aware and utilizing digital systems were Midtown High School, Atlanta Public Schools, Georgia, and North Bergen High School, our good friends out there in North Bergen School District, New Jersey. I'm very proud of them. Those were the school level awards. Let me see. Now I'm on to districts. So here's the district level gainers this year. There's a lot of them. Albany School District, Wyoming, Atchison Public Schools, Kansas, Beaver County School District, Utah, our good friend out there. Belton School District, Missouri. Really proud of those guys. They've been doing an awesome job. So is Blue Valley Schools, Kansas. Some of these we know much better because we've had them live on events and we got to know them personally. Brookings School District, South Dakota, Butler School District 53, Illinois, Caldwell County Schools, North Carolina, City School District of Albany, New York, Clarksville, Montgomery County School System, DeKalb County School District, Georgia, Ephrata School District, Washington, Escambia County School District, Florida, Espanola Public Schools, New Mexico. We were proud of New Mexico, got on the grid. Fessenden Bowden Public School District, North Dakota. Garland Independent School District, Texas. We've known them for years. We're super proud of them. Gower School District 62, Illinois, Greenville County School, South Carolina, Harrison School District 2, Colorado, Hilliard City Schools, Ohio, Jacksonville, North Pulaski School Districts, Arkansas, Kansas City Public Schools, Missouri, Logan County Schools, Kentucky, Morgan Local Schools, Ohio. So those are just some of our gainers. Let me show you the rest of them. North Canton City Schools, Ohio, North Clackamas SD12 in Oregon, Norwalk La Mirada Unified School District, California, Oregon Trail School District, Oregon, Piper Unified School District 203 in Kansas, Powhatan County Schools, Virginia, Providence School District, Rhode Island, Rochester School District, New York, Rowan Salisbury Schools, North Carolina, San Diego Unified School District, California. We love these guys, known them for many years. San Juan Unified School District, California, Savannah Chatham County Public Schools, Georgia, School District of Pickens County, South Carolina, Shelby County Schools, Tennessee, Susquehanna Township School District, Pennsylvania, Sweet Home School District, Oregon, Terrell County Independent School District, Georgia, Virginia Beach Schools in Virginia, West Tallahatchie School District, Mississippi, Westminster Public Schools, Colorado, and Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools, North Carolina. Those are our gainers. Congratulations to the gainers. All right, let's talk about our innovators. So we're super excited about them. Albuquerque Public Schools, New Mexico. Good job. Cobb County School District, Georgia. Good friends of ours. Awesome work. Very proud of them. Also, Indianapolis Public Schools, Indiana. Medina Valley Independent School District in Texas. Metro Nashville Public Schools, Tennessee. Really innovative work over there. Orange County Public, Florida. Super excited about them. And then Pomona Unified District, California. I think we have one of them speaking today. I'm super excited about them as well. We've known them for many years. Poway Unified as well in California. San Antonio Independent School District in Texas, huge district, a lot of hard work in this area. And right beside them is Church-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District in Texas, also amazing work for a mid-sized district, and Wilder School District. All right, so our Knights, actually, are we missing the Achievers? Yeah, I think we had one Achiever. I'm missing the Achiever slide. Doug, can you let me know who my Achiever was? I think there was one Achiever. All right, so I'm going to announce my Knights. All right, so joining only 4 other districts that are Knights this year, and I think we have some of the Knights, the previous year Knights on, maybe to congratulate them when I'm done speaking here, because we have a couple minutes, is Pinellas County Schools, Florida, and Volusia County Schools in Florida, both Floridian districts this year. Super excited about them. Okay, yes, our Achiever, and somehow we dropped the slide out, is Keller ISD in Texas. So thank you, Keller. But we are going to hopefully hear from our Knights here shortly. Those are our big winners for the year. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, you can see the full slides with like the short reason, not the full, long, exhaustive reason why we awarded them what we awarded. But you're going to hear from them shortly. So if any of the Knights are on right now, actually, maybe we double put this in here so it's in there. Nope. We're going to hear from Katie and Dr. Connie Closey here shortly, but I think Barbara Hefner's on. Barbara, are you and your superintendent on? You're our previous year's Knights. You want to make comments about what it's like to be a Knight and congratulate our new Knights? I think Doug can unmute you. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little while, right?
Can you hear me, LeiLani?
Yeah, I can.
Hi. Hi. Well, congratulations to the new Knights. It's quite an honor, and it's very exciting work that's being done, especially during these times. But we've seen here in district how it's truly made an impact on our students, our families, and our staff. And we know the new Knights are going to continue having as much success as we have had this past year.
Well, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, we're looking forward to actually maybe even seeing you guys in person again this next year.
Yes, so we hope you're coming up in the spring. So we look forward to hosting and seeing everyone.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Okay, good. All right, well, thank you, Barbara. Well, I think we just have a couple more minutes, so I want to see if anybody has any questions for me on any of the data. I'm going to back myself up here before I have Katie and Dr. Connie Closey unmute. I'm going to go back to what we were talking about in all the data. All right. So if you have questions about data, now's the time to ask me, because we have a couple more minutes. What's going on with the spend, the information in the market, the student population, all that kind of stuff. So raise your hand. Let me know if you have any questions about all of that. Don't be shy. I know a lot of you that are on right now, and you're all administrators, so you might have questions, but you might not want to ask them. I don't know. Okay, well, let me just say a couple other things about this increase. Everyone has been saying that the ed tech market spend, like what's happening? Why aren't people spending? Well, most of the ed tech companies are telling Learning Council they can't get in to talk to you guys in education. And it's because you're in this flurry of activity that hasn't ended and you all need a nap. But market, spend still went up. A lot of free stuff was handed out in 2020 just to get you sort of addicted to it. But now you're paying for it, and usually you have the money to do that, but you maybe haven't entered that phase of like really going, okay, what do we need? What do we don't need? Can we get rid of this? This is duplicative of that. We're expecting you to do a lot of that in 2022 while still spending potentially more money, because there is still a lot of stimulus money in play. Like I said, it might take as much as 5 more years to spend all this money. But you may want to also be partnering with all your fellow local districts. What are they doing? What are other school districts doing? How can we sort of vet things through to make sure that we know that we're not getting something with a security flaw or a privacy flaw? I'm also expecting a lot more sophisticated look at how you're actually putting everything together, because this data is really still alarming. It's been alarming to me for years how much consumers are spending on learning apps and digital subscription sites. Those things that they're out there buying are leading them into a viewpoint that the user experience with digital learning should be really seamless, like big fat buttons, and I just click forward, and if I leave it, I come back to the same place like all digital books do. I can maneuver around, I can back up, I can write in, I can hit online chat, and a teacher comes on and talks to me. Those kinds of things are all really important. Hey, Tim, I guess you unmuted. I just got like a note flashed because I didn't see it on myself. Hi, Tim, you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Where do you see states' roles in all the pieces of data you've gotten, and the directions of state changes in relationship to kind of the new model of how schools are operating?
Well, I think 2 things. The repository cost, where you're keeping stuff and how disassociated people are. Let me just get to this one slide to talk to you about this. This data about the number of digital things that teachers are keeping in their own little universe, right? Could be online in the cloud, right? But it's in their own OneDrive or their Google Drive, right? It's not associated itself into a greater ecosystem. I think that's going to get kiboshed in the next year, but I think states have to lead the let's share push. They have to, because the duplicative work of every single teacher in every single school and district that's going on to find, vet, and then drop into sequence is massive. It is the largest friction we have in the market. If you really like step back as sort of an unbiased observer of education and you look at this on a national scale, you're like, wow, this is expensive. This is really expensive. Okay, so here's the justification on the other side, right, Tim? It's like every teacher says, well, I got to build it just for my kids. I'm customizing just for mine. Well, back in the book days, we didn't do that. we customized around a core. So I think what we're going to be grappling with is, first, let's get everything together at the state level, or the LEAs, right? The local education authorities, BOCES, those kinds of characters, or at least if you're a big district, just get a learning object repository, get yourself in gear, you know, so that you have a sharing modality. I think, and maybe you want to comment on this, or anybody else comment on this, 2020 and 2021, we took an entire civilized K-12 arena of people who are used to being king or queen of their own, close the classroom door, and this is my domain, right? And no one tells me what to do in here. I'm going to run it. It's my subjects, my kids, my blah, 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 right? And we went to full sharing mode. We went to like, what are you doing over there? Okay, can I have some of that? Da, 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 da. But the fact that this is still going on over here in the digital document world, in the courseware arena and all that other stuff, is telling you there's a cost to it. It's a friction. We got a lot of more sharing in 2020 and 21, but not enough. So does that answer your question a little bit?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, so we need to move to that. And I even go beyond that to, you know, one of our nights is St. Vrain in Colorado. And usually every time we talk to them, they bring up the fact that one of the things they did to become great is they did a full curriculum, a viable curriculum map, which means they built the roads and every student paces along. Okay, so there's still a whole group and grade structure mostly, but they built the road, they laid all the highways, and then they said to the teachers, listen, you can build the byways and the offshoots and the little paths off of it for personalization and customization, but we're going to build the highway. So they did that. Now you can't do that without some sort of centralized structure. So we're really expecting in 2022 people to start walking away from everybody for themselves. Because one of the real truths about the network economy and moving to digital transition is the fact that when you go there, everybody's connected. And so you move people personally into the idea of always collaborating. That's a new thing. Teachers have been taught, when they were taught to be a teacher, that they are the king or queen of their own domain, right? Like it's all about them and all the pressure's on them, blah, 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 blah. So I would tell administrators, pull some of the pressure off by giving them a viable curriculum map. Like, don't just say, here's the pacing guide, everything else is on you. Give them what they need. And then pull pressure off them and give them the collaboration time that they need, right? Because they love to work with it. They don't usually get to do that. They're isolated off in that little course room. So a lot of Atlanta and Georgia districts have done this for years, where they give everybody Fridays a digital learning day, and it's really a teacher get together and catch up and do all your stuff day, right? But that I'm seeing that now as something that's going to switch out in a big way. And it's really, like I said, and I'll show you this data again. This is shocking to us. I think this deserves about 8 stories from Learning Council just to, you know, dig into every angle of this data. You know, the finding digital lesson time, the building all your own digital content and lesson sequences time, and your digital traffic time. There are 24% of teachers that are saying they're over 30 hours a week. Well, last I looked, I think the work week legally in the United States and a lot of districts is 40. Like, that's it. Like, so you have 10 hours a week to teach. Wow. So the teaching and the perfecting of the human intersection, I think, is going to be the attention of a lot of administrators. Because look at what administrators think. They think that teachers are spending max over 6 and up to 15 hours a week on all this stuff. 37% think that. 28%, well, maybe it's 15 to 30. And 8.6% maybe are also teaching themselves. They're thinking, well, yeah, it's over 30. That's all we do is that stuff. Well, that's not teaching and learning. And I think that there's a hard truth in that. That's a really hard truth to grapple with, because it's such a change in our mental construct of what we do and what we are as a teaching and learning institution. We are the administration, and then we do a lot more letting everybody do unto yourself down in your little classrooms. than leading in the area of the curriculum map. So it's a big thing, but it's because of this. All right, so Doug, any other questions on this? Just making sure I'm double checking. I'm not.
Nothing else in there right now, Lonnie.
Okay. All right. Anybody who wants to ask a question? Okay, so we're good. All right, so I'm going to get on to our next part. You guys have heard enough of me blathering on about the significance of the data. But I do want you to ask questions of us later. Some of you, like as per usual, will email us later and say, okay, I wanted a question, but I didn't want to ask in front of everybody else, just like you do in normal school, right?